Welcome to SSI's Security Speaking podcast, brought to you by Security Sales and Integration. Each episode features thought leaders from throughout the professional security channel discussing technology, winning business practices, hot industry trends, and emerging opportunities. We appreciate your interest and encourage you to subscribe to Security Sales and Integration and its newsletters. Regularly visit securitysales.com for the latest news and follow SSI on social media. Thank you.
What I want to do now is throw out a general question about other technologies, and I'm going to mention a few of them. And what I'd like is for any of you to jump in with one that I mention, or maybe one that I don't mention, that you're kind of excited about, and give me a reason why. So when we look at high-profile technology coming in the industry, we're looking at things like the multi-sensor arrays for more video coverage, the analytics on video that we already mentioned, biometrics, smartphone credentialing, drones, robotics and security, active shooter, and license plate recognition type things. So please someone comment on any of those or another technology that you're excited about. So who wants to jump in?
Obviously, COVID is the big talk right now, and it's hard to talk about anything else during this time. So a lot of the conversation is going to be driven by that. But before this, and hopefully soon, all of the above that you just mentioned were really hot button topics, specifically analytics, biometrics, smartphone credentialing, drones, perimeter detection, active shooter being huge. So LPR as well. So we've seen a tremendous amount of interest, and what we're seeing is that our customers are becoming educated, seeing the value, and actually taking that from something we've been talking about for a long time to actually implementing and growing. So yeah, it's very exciting. We hope that we can get back to talking about those things again sooner than later.
Yeah, I'll add in there. The ones that we're seeing the most traction with is multi-sensor cameras. I mean, those are huge. You're basically almost eliminating Pt.3s anymore. So customers are loving those, and that's one. Video analytics, like I said, is starting to slowly gain traction. I love hearing that it's hitting the coast, and they're getting a lot, because I think that means it's coming our way soon. And same thing with smartphone credentialing. I love that. And it's just kind of starting to take traction here. We're starting to get a little bit of interest in that. I know it's coming. That's one you just know is going to be out there. So those are really the three hot buttons that we're focusing on and that we're seeing the most excited about to move forward with.
So I think the other technology that you previously mentioned, I would totally agree with that. Those are the most exciting things we were thinking about, and hopefully post-COVID, we refocus on that. Video intelligence is just growing leaps and bounds. It seems like there's so much effort being put in by the manufacturer and different things that they're coming up with. It's going to be a huge boost to us trying to implement and deploy that for the customer to save them time and make that system that much more intelligent.
Do you feel like the fact that the trade shows have kind of gone on hiatus, is that sort of also impacting the wave we had of new technology a little bit?
Yeah, you have to think so. I, for one, miss the trade shows, the socialization, the ability to bump into the manufacturers, bring things up, nip things in the bud, walk around with our customers. I think that there's, I'm a member of SecurityNet, and we get together 4 times a year, at PSA being one of them, but we get together usually in Vegas and then Atlanta, and one other time we get together at one of the integrator sites. And just the camaraderie and sharing best practices and getting to, speak to our vendors and develop stronger relationships with them, bull around with our customers, get a drink with them. So I think that, I think it is impacting from a lot of standpoints. Have we felt the impact yet? No, but you have to believe that in the long run there's going to be some impact, and hopefully by then we'll be back to normal. Hopefully.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I was planning on going ISC West this year, and I don't go every year. I only go every 2 to 3 years. But I was looking forward to going and just meeting with people and checking out the new products and those type of things. And same when some other organizations that meet, on a semi-annual basis, and those have obviously were canceled in the spring and already canceled for the fall. And so you miss those kind of side conversations, where you're sitting with a cocktail and how's this going with you and how's that going with you and those type of things. And yeah, I think, like Abe said, it's going to help. I don't think the impact is, he's right. The impact hasn't been felt yet, but at some point there's going to be this little blip because of all this. And our manufacturers are the same. They're nervous just like we are. Business is going to fall off. So, I mean, it's just, unprecedented times where everything is just kind of on hold. No one's really just plowing forward with anything at this point.
It's interesting. I just got a call from Honeywell, HAS today. They restructured their reps to be statewide so that they don't have to travel interstate. And I thought that was interesting because they're going to have a lot more state by state hands-on integration with their clients, with us, the integrators. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense because if you cross a state line, all of a sudden, a governor mandates that if you go into this state, you gotta quarantine for 2 weeks. So
Right.
I mean, kudos to them for kind of thinking ahead that as long as this goes on, they're not going to be able to travel to certain states and do those type of things. So it's probably a smart move by them.
With all this remote working from home and on the integrator side of things, it's always been the lament for everybody, finding talent, and we've mentioned it during this call. Do you think that in some ways what we've seen here could help remedy some of that in the fact that, maybe you can have employees that don't have to be as geographically closely located, number one. Number two, maybe some of the other companies have laid people off that now makes a bigger pool of available talent out there. So who would like to speak to that?
I can. It's funny. We just saw this. Nebraska's got the lowest unemployment in the country. We're at 5.2%. So we're still probably a good thing of the Midwest. We don't get the highs, which is the bad thing, but we don't get the lows as the coasts do. So ours is still going to be tough to find staff, and that's always the thing. I think the challenge for all of us is for me, the $1 million question is how do I grow my business without hiring more people? And if any of you know how to do that, call me because I'd love to know, but I can't figure that one out yet. That's kind of, you try to look like for some little, bright spot in this thing. And that's the one thing that maybe you'll be able to find some quality people. And we just put out sent out a job description online to see if we could get some bites on some business development people, to see if maybe some people are out there right now that got furloughed or laid off or that may be available. So we're going to see if we can snatch up some quality talent and hope that it's out there. So it'll be interesting to see.
And I think I would say ditto to what Michael just said. If there's one silver lining that we've seen from COVID, we've seen a couple of integrators that have laid off a good amount of their personnel, which opened up some opportunities for us to bring them in, and so we've seen some talent be able to come across the lines into our company where things were rock solid tough before. We couldn't get, and especially in the New York area, it was really hard to bring new talent. And we were doing a lot of organic training from the ground up, creating our own school education internally to organically train people from the ground up. And we were doing that, but it takes time. With this shake-up, if you want to call it, because of the COVID, we've actually had the opportunity to bring some new talent on board. It's been helpful in that respect.
Good for you. Congratulations.
So in our case, it's similar to what Abe said, but that, you know, a lot of this couple of large integrating companies have laid off a whole bunch of people. As we speak, in the last 2 weeks, we've had a lot of conversation with a few of them. They're looking for change. They don't know what the future is. And they're laid off, but they don't even know if they're going to get called back. That just gives us an opportunity to, you know, hire within that group of people who are not working today. That said, we have not hired anybody, but we are having conversation with at least 4 different people for 4 different positions, you know, hoping that it works out for us. So, yes, it has helped in a little bit, at least in our case.
Yeah, so as Abe said, there's some silver lining right there. Keeping with the talk of competitors, which ones are each of you most concerned with? You know, which ones do you most keep your eye on? Is it, you know, the local guys, the regional guys, the national guys, all of the above? And how do you differentiate? And you know, a lot of times when I ask this question, people say, well, because we give personal touch or personal care. But if you could kind of go beyond that and actually really spell out what differentiates you, so, or your company. Let's keep with Kagan on that one, then work our way back.
Okay, so in that case, we happen to do, you know, the large entities, and we compete with the nationals because of that. You know, we had a single location, single place integrator, and when the system gets to be a certain size and it gets into these national companies radar, and then they want to come in and say, oh, we can do this much better than the way you used to, so on. So that has been our biggest challenge, if you will. That said, you know, the local, there are enough in our area that we compete, but it's a fair competition. And when it gets to the national companies, it's a different ball game altogether. Sometimes they want to buy the job. I did it all before, you know, COVID stuff got involved, and they are trying to buy the job and compete with you that way, and that makes it a little more difficult. Other than that, so our big major competition would be national companies, I would say.
Yeah, and what's the primary way you would say that you differentiate from them?
Service. You know, they've been very happy with us, but procurement says if you go above a certain dollar amount, I have to put it out to bid for 4 different people, and bring in the quote, and we have to explain what they're giving you, the total package, and how service is provided, and so on. So there's no other way for us to compete other than showing them, pointing out all the things, the types of service we are providing, and what we do for them, to justify if there is a difference in price at the end of the day after that.
Thank you. Mike, what does your competitive landscape look like?
So we have probably a little bit of both. We have a big national that we kind of keep our eyes on here that is in the market. And then we have one local guy that kind of the burr that kind of gets under us too. What I would say is our differentiation, or how we go to market, so to speak, is was the old 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. Omaha's kind of under that philosophy too. And one of the advantages of being in a smaller market is that ability to know a friend of a friend of a friend. So when we see a project going up, when we call it crane scouting for crane, so to speak, there's a crane in the air. We want to know what's being built and who's doing it and everything else. Is we really work hard to establish that relationship and go in with some type of a warm concept and really try to get out of the bid world in that and really try to focus on a mano a mano, let us present and let our competitors present, and then you make the best decision that fits your company. And we always feel like we can deliver that about every time, and we usually win those. It's when we get in the bidding wars that we don't do so well. That relationship of knowing somebody that did business with us, that will recommend us, and continuing to use that referral type of a basis is what's really helped us branch out, expand, and deliver. And then when I say deliver, we got to deliver what we promise. And we went to the Net Promoter a couple of years ago, where you send the email out of how you're doing, to answer one question, and it's a 1 to a 10, and then they can complain, and you'd be shocked at little things that were falling through the cracks. That you guys were great to 98%, and then you didn't do X, whatever X was, train somebody. So those are the things of reading those and getting back to customers on all those type of things. I think it helps immensely with the size of our company and probably the size of my two peers here. Being actively involved. I mean, we sell that. Look, if you need to get a hold of me here, I mean, you send me an email, my cell phone's right on it. You call me, you call me. I think people still like that for the most part. If you can deliver what a national can deliver, and the ability to know that I can call or email or text the owner at any time if I have an issue, I think that's still pretty important in today's society, and people appreciate those type of things.
Thank you, Mike.
Mostly, around here, we can divide into 3 categories. So you have your locals, regionals, and then your national integrators. We don't compete with the locals. They don't touch the business. They don't have the capacity to get to the clients that we're talking to. And so we have eliminated them as our competition. Mostly we're going to come up against the nationals and the regionals. But we come up, as Kekin said, we come across the same challenge, that we provide excellent service. We've been there for them. We, as Michael said, we use our references, that a security director that may have been with this utility company that moves over to another utility company, gives us a call, wants to bring us along with him, or a hospital security director, or a medical manufacturer, or any one of those verticals that I mentioned before, which works in our favor. But as Kakin said, they have to go out to bid when it's a larger project. And now, we like you very much. You've done great work with us. We really want to use you, but we have to go out to bid. So what we've done is we've created vehicles to allow them to be able to utilize our services. So for one, we have a GSA schedule that allows government entities and our government group to be able to work with our manufacturers and ourselves using the vehicle of the GSA schedule. We have a New York State contract as well, which allows our clients to utilize that vehicle. We are a part of SecurityNet, which allows us to market and go up against our national competitors on a national and international level with our SecurityNet partnerships, which kind of give us best of both worlds. We're a regional company, which, as Mike said, you have my cell phone number. You have we can give you the president's cell phone number, and email addresses, and we will take care of you. We care about you. We need you as a customer. We're not a national, but at the same time, we have the leverage of our PSA partners and our SecurityNet partners to be able to handle any national, international account. And finally, at being a WBE allows us a competitive edge at times for contracts that have WBE set aside. So we try to create vehicles that allow us that allow us to compete, and nothing replaces being consistent, providing quality service, coming through time and time again, having integrity, coming through and do what you say when you're going to say, and maintaining your reputation.
Thank you, Abe. I know it's tough to do right now. There's so many unknowns and variables. But as we look toward 2021 and hope things will be better, I'd like each of you to just weigh in and just tell me what your personal and company outlook is if you look that far ahead to 2021 right now. So, Kagan, you want to jump in first?
Sure. Our outlook for 2021 is very optimistic. We have two large projects which were on its way, and we were told to postpone a couple of them starting 2021 for the next fiscal year for a bunch of reasons. They were all transportation related, and they were hurt by this COVID situation. So we have a huge jump start just on that. Having said that, I'm very optimistic about by the end of this year, this uncertainty of COVID and how it's affecting people from making decisions will change, and in turn, people will make more faster decisions and move forward with a lot of those pending projects, which they would like to move forward with. Right now, the uncertainty is what I say keeps hurting, whether this second wave coming, not coming, how bad it's going to be, how good it's going to be, and if you can find some kind of an answer as to how we're going to resolve the situation, with whichever way, whether it's right medication slash some kind of a what do you call it? I'm trying to bring a blank of the name of the against this virus from getting you. What am I trying to say? The word of people are researching and trying to figure out that you can't take this shot and you won't get the virus. What am I trying to say? Why can't I think of the word? That just throwing total blank on the name. People are inventing. Just throwing a blank. I'm sorry, but if some kind of an answer for COVID comes out, I think things will start to change and we'll move forward, and our industry will have a great gain out of it, basically. So I'm very optimistic for 21.
All right, good enough. Thank you, Kagan. Mike?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I would just say that I love this industry in general. I love what I do. I don't love it every day. I don't love it every hour, but I ask myself at the end of the week, every week, do I really enjoy what I do? And the answer has been yes every single week. So I am cautiously optimistic about 2021. I'm really, pretty excited about it. There is going to be a vaccine to get over this. We know that. We just don't know when. Is it October, November, December, January, March? When? I mean, something's coming out. And as soon as we know we've got this under control, in my opinion, I think the economy's going to take off again. I'm not some big investor and an analyzer, but I'm guessing there's a lot of money sitting on the sidelines, and they're going to see opportunity galore when this cure is, and there's going to be a lot of stuff undervalued. So I think business and everything is going to take off again. And yeah, there may be some new norm with people staying at home and teleworking and all that, but it's not going to change that. Some people are going to come back to work, and the economy is going to grow again. So I'm optimistic for it. I'm optimistic for the fall. I'm hoping for no second wave and that, but I'm usually generally a pretty optimistic guy, and if you're a doom and gloom guy, I don't want to be around you. So I'm excited to see where we're going.
Thank you, Mike. Abe?
So I guess I'm not going to be the one to disagree. I'm an optimist by nature. I'm optimistic. I have been optimistic. I went on record in an interview with Candace when this all started in March, I think it was, that I'm optimistic that we as Americans want to produce. We're all opportunists. We're going to find opportunities to succeed. We're all going to come out of our shells sometime, whether, New York, it's happening, I think. Hopefully it stays, there's no spike. The other, in the middle of the heartland of the country and coast to coast, we're going to see the American resolve just come forth. And I'm hopeful, as Mike said, cautious, but I am very optimistic that our industry, and we are all fortunate to be in a very good industry. Not everyone can say the same thing. I do have friends that are out of business. That in the hospitality industry, in the different type of restaurant owners, and retail. I mean, they're just completely demolished. But we are all very fortunate to be in a very good business that is essential service and has been able to grow throughout this. And I am very optimistic for 2021 that we're all going to see good numbers and a lot of success.
Excellent.
Now, we all just got to stay healthy.
Yes.
Amen. Yeah. Well, I think that's a great place to end it. I really appreciate you guys participating, and the time flew by for me. I hope it did for you too. And
It did.
I've been doing this for probably 15 years or something like that, and this is the first virtual one. So
All right.
regret not being able to be face to face with all of you, but I'm glad we could pull it off.